I'm right here in the old town with these canals here, which the Dutch constructed, and I want to explain you a little bit about the problem Jakarta has nowadays with it sinking. So these are the canals. They're basically at sea level, so the water is here running slowly, but when it's raining a lot, so the level goes up, and it can run off that easily and quick. So the water might overflow and flood these areas here. The problem got created somehow by the Dutch back then when they had this whole system here, and the canals got neglected. People building houses like in these poor neighborhoods, they didn't have access to water, and Jakarta had whatever, only 500,000 people, I don't know, at the beginning of the 20th century. Now Jakarta has more than 10 million people. So the weight of all the buildings and of all these people and materials sitting on this ground here and pressing. But on the other hand, like all these houses never got connected on city water, so the water comes right underneath from the ground. And when they pump water, so they're pumping, and all the different layers of ground underneath all of Jakarta here, they get pushed down and pressed down, and so all these layers of different rocks, materials, whatever it is, when the water is out, they get compacted and becoming less and less. So the city is basically like pressing all these layers down and sinking slowly. Like some of these parts here, especially a lot closer to the sea, it might be 20 to 40 centimeters a year, and it's just getting worse because there's more buildings, obviously. Here the buildings are still small. When we get upstream here a little bit, there's like skyscrapers being constructed, and all the weight from all the stuff is just making things worse. So what Jakarta has to do is basically they have to find a way to get all the people connected to city water and get the water up somewhere like from the direction of Bogor, and have it run down instead of pumping underneath your own buildings. And that's basically like you're sitting on a tree branch and taking a saw and starting sawing at the stump, and at some point it's just gonna like break and you're falling down. That's the same thing here with the water situation. You're pumping, and basically what's happening, you're just sinking constantly. So I think only 50% of the people have water, like real water pipes from the city. They got connected, and the neighborhoods which are poor, they never got connected, so they have to still pump water from wells, and which is just worsening the situation for all of Jakarta. When it comes to floods in Jakarta and the most threatened areas, what do you think who lives there? Can you guess it? Exactly, the poor. So today we're about to go and check out 3 different neighborhoods in Jakarta who are threatened the most by the rising sea levels, the sinking city here of Jakarta, and just the wrong management with water and everything. I'm still here at my in-laws, and even this area here is a quite low area, and when it's raining too much, obviously these little channels here on the side, they can't take a lot of water, so the water would basically get up somewhere to here, which is like, let's say, a little bit above my knees. And even my in-laws, they have the problem that once in a year or once in 2 years, when it's everything clogged, the water doesn't run off, they get flooded here. So they sleep basically on tables. They have put everything up above, so nothing is on the floor. So even in these areas where people, let's say, have nicer houses and they are threatened, but the worst parts of Jakarta we're just about to see. So let's jump on the motorcycle and discover these places. Today I'm taking my wife though, not because I'm worried about myself or something. They are the most dangerous places too in Jakarta, but it's just for the sake of translation, and that she can help me to talk to people, ask them some questions, because just by myself I don't think I'm gonna meet too many people who speak English, so she's gonna be some help today. We just arrived in the Ciliwung neighborhood here, just next to the Ciliwung River, and as you can see, there's must be like a 1.50 meter wall here protecting this neighborhood from the flooding, because this is the Ciliwung River, and if you remember, we were already in Bogor, at the little island in the center of Bogor, Pulau Gulis, but they're lucky because they're up in the, let's say, kind of in the mountains, so the water can just run down if there's a lot of water. Here we're basically almost at sea level, and the water, if it's raining too much up in the mountains here in Jakarta, if the water rises so much that it actually would kind of spill over here, this wall, you can just see that this road, and from the road, this whole neighborhood lies kind of almost under the level of the river. So if the water comes over the wall and over the road, it basically just would flood everything here. And these neighborhoods are just really prone to flooding, and the people, hello, the people living here, you see they all have second floors. Unlike some other parts, even my in-laws, they have only one floor at the ground level, but here, if it's flooding, you basically need a space where you can go and be away from the floods. So I hope it doesn't happen too often, but as we know, Jakarta is sinking, so this parts here, you can really see it. One level of the wall, the street, and another at least 2 meters down in the neighborhood. So that's one of the neighborhoods here, and like I said before, it's you know who lives here. It's not the rich, not the people who can afford another place or buy something. These people live here for a long time, and this is their only place they have. I don't think they can afford anything else. As you can see, this whatever truck, something, somebody's trying to make it work, and this is like the things people have here. This is what they keep. They don't just easily get new stuff and replace it with something better or more luxurious. So we found this really nice guy. He's doing some, I don't know if he has a repair shop, doing some reparations here, so I just kind of want to ask him how life here in the villages in the kampung. So my first question is, does the water ever spill over from the Ciliwung here in the kampung?
One time after the concrete made, but before the concrete made, it's
often.
Yeah.
So how long ago did they make the concrete? So now they're better protected.
Berapa lama Pak tanggulnya?
Tanggulnya 2015.
Oh, from 2015. Berapa lama itu bangunnya ya?
Ada setahun.
Oh,
setahun.
Takes 1 year for
to build the whole.
Yeah.
Okay. So before that, every year almost they would have flooding, right?
Hampir setiap tahun ya kebanjiran.
Kalau sebelum ditanggul.
Iya. Oh iya.
Kalau udah ditanggul baru kemarin doang 2000 berapa tuh?
2020 ya?
Kalau nggak salah.
Yang awal tahun itu yang malam tahun baru ya?
Iya.
Yang banjir, ya. In the earlier 2020.
Yeah.
When the Jakarta is raining and then all over get flooding.
Flooding again.
Flooded this area. Terus
Okay.
airnya di sini bersih Pak. Kalau buat mandi, masak itu gimana?
Di sini dari air ini atau enggak air pump. Ada yang jepam.
Oh.
Sanyo.
Okay. The water from here from the government pump. Or the jet pump that you have to dig maybe 30 meters down or something. Tapi kalau air beli ya di sini ya, isi ulang ya?
Beli. Ada yang enggak.
Oh, ada yang dari pump terus dimasak lagi.
Iya.
So he lives here in the somewhere in the village.
Bapak
Yeah.
tinggal di sini kan?
Yeah.
Dari masih anak-anak masih lahir di sini.
Oh,
Huh?
he was born in here.
He was born in here. How old?
Bapak umur berapa?
Ada 60.
Bapak 60. Oh, masih muda.
Oh, 60.
Iya.
60 years. Okay.
60.
So the house is.
Oh, 62. Oh, he was born in 62.
Oh, 1962. Oh, okay.
Oh.
So that's a real local here in Jakarta. So real original, right?
Iya, berarti Bapak lahir di sini dari
Asli original, how you
Iya,
say? Yeah.
asli sini ya berarti ya.
Yeah. So I see the houses here. They all have second level. Is this because of the water?
Iya, pada banyak yang tingkat karena kebanjiran apa?
Bisa jadi begitu. Nah, dulu emang jarang. Kalau dulu jarang ada yang tingkat. Kalau yang enggak, sekarang ada.
Iya.
Yeah.
If some family have little bit money to build up the stores and then they make it, but if they don't, then just have like one store.
One store. And then what do they do when it's flooded here? Is it
Yeah.
like for 1 week? Is it everything flooded? And how do they live here
Kalau
in the?
banjir sampai kadang 3 hari sampai seminggu itu kita orang gimana? Nggak bisa kerja, nggak bisa apa-apa, terus ngapain tuh Pak?
Itu ya tergantung juga. Kalau yang selain niatnya anak ada mau kerja ya keluar ke berenang.
Oh,
Itu juga tergantung. Umpamanya dia usaha di toko, kalau memang toko buka ya dikerja begitu.
oh.
Tergantung orangnya. Kalau dia
Iya.
emang nggak bisa ya nggak bisa. Kalau memang mau ya mau, gitu aja kerjanya.
So if for the people who has the stores, open store somewhere in the market,
Yeah.
if they wants to and have to work and then they gonna swim off here.
Swim over.
But if they don't, an example maybe they have warung here and cannot open, they don't. Kalau kayak Bapak nih punya misalkan buka bengkel atau apa di sini kebanjiran berarti tutup tuh.
Kalau
sini.
saya dulu dagang,
dagang di mana?
dagang ikan,
Dagang ikan.
ikan hidup.
Oh, ikan hias.
Ikan hias juga, ikan lele, ikan
lele.
gurame.
Oh, kesukaan dia nih. He sells ini.
Oh, he sells fish? Yeah.
Ikan gurame, ikan
Yeah.
lele. Iya, di sini juga Pak, apa di
Bukan,
pasar?
di pasar
Yeah.
situ, pasar
Jatinegara.
burung tuh.
Oh, so.
Pasar burung sini.
Pasar burung Pramuka.
Enggak, sini ya rawa bening.
Rawa
Ini apa?
bening.
Jat ini
Pedati.
kemuning.
Kemuning.
Kuning. Oh.
Kemuning sini nih.
Sini.
So he's
Pakai
selling
pesawat
fish
ke sana.
just up
Yeah.
there. Okay.
He was selling the fish
Okay.
here. Ah.
Well,
Terus tapi pas 2020 ke sini udah jarang banjir ya?
2002 ya jarang. Nah, tahun kemarin doang habis tanggul ya kan 2015.
2015 tanggul
2020
yang malam tahun baru Januari
Ah,
itu yang
benar. Yang
satu
banjir gede.
iya satu ini sih satu
Baru itu
Jakarta
doang tuh.
baru itu doang.
Itu enggak karena biasanya banjir 5 tahunan.
Oh iya benar. Once in 5 years we had also flooding.
yeah. Well, I hope what the government did here with the wall and is doing the situation much better for them, and I hope the flood doesn't come too often, and they can live peaceful life here.
Iya
And-
katanya semoga nantinya ini deh Jakarta pas pemilihan baru agak mendingan.
Yeah.
Ini kalau kebanyakan mata pencariannya di sini apa Pak?
Usaha dagang.
Usaha dagang ya. Oh, people here mostly.
Kalau yang kerja itu biasanya masih anak-anak yang ada ABG ke sana.
Oh iya.
Kayak udah supermarket gitu.
Oh iya benar lulusan SMA supermarket. Mostly they are here like how I say self-employed. They have
Oh, self-employed, okay.
Market
and do
somewhere,
something, and transport or something,
If they are graduated, maybe like in early young people, they work at the supermarket
Okay.
because need certificate.
Yeah.
Saya kan baru kerja di provinsi.
Oh iya. Betul.
Okay. Anyways, I want to thank for the interview. Yeah, and good luck in the future for you, your family,
Katanya semoga ini Bapak sehat-sehat selalu.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
Ya, masih.
Terima kasih, Mas.
Sama-sama.
Terima kasih. There is some things the government is doing, I guess, to prevent more flooding here. You can see another excavator here in the Ciliwung River. So basically, like trenching out the river, digging, so it's deeper, getting out the garbage, so the water would be like flowing in the canal, like have more space in the canal instead of when there's too much mud, sediments and garbage on the ground. The water obviously has to rise up a little bit more and could spill over the concrete wall here, so right away it would be here in the village. And again, like the whole village here is basically the river goes 360 degrees almost around the kampong. And then anywhere you go, this is kind of like an entrance here into the village, and you see it goes down at least for like 1.5-2 meters, and then just turning around, if you see where the wall is and if there's any water, it would like come down pagi, it would come down right into people's houses. Selamat pagi. So everything here would be probably underwater at some point. Yeah. Speak English. Water come here. Air, water from Ciliwung River come to here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you see, that's what I said. Like if the water spill over, the water would come here. So then you have to live on second level.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think. Yeah. So you see, basically here where we're standing, like the balconies on the first floor, the water would come all the way to there. So this whole first level would be basically just underwater here.
Ketinggiannya sampai mana?
Yeah.
Sampai atas.
Yeah. Terima kasih. Yeah.
Height.
Height like 3 meter. 3 meter. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 meter. Yeah. So that's 4. Yeah, it says even 4 meters. 4 meters the water would be like here. Basically it becomes all a big river, like the whole kind of, it's a peninsula island almost, because it's surrounded by water. So everything so no electricity, no, tidak electric when the flood water, no. Yeah. So like you see, like these areas here surrounded by water are very at high risk. And then I don't know how life is going on here while they have some floods here. Yeah. Okay, terima kasih.
You're welcome, Mr.